Good day, everyone. My name is Amal. Today, I will be presenting my individual assignment for human resource management in a dynamic environment under the guidance of Dr. Tahir Masood. The topic that I have selected is training and development. This topic is very important because training helps employees learn new skills, grow in their jobs, and do their work better. Introduction. This slide gives a short introduction to my topic, which is training and development. Training and development are very important because they help employees learn new skills, improve their work, and stay updated with changes in the workplace. It also helps organizations reach better results and long-term success. In this presentation, as I mentioned previously, I will share two research articles from the UAE that explain how good training programs and how they can improve employee performance and support the growth of the organization. The first article I reviewed is titled Training and Development, Its Effect on Job Performance in the Selected Companies of the UAE, written by Sayed, Naveed, and Imtiaz in 2018. Overview of the study. This study focuses on how different training and development programs influence employee performance in the UAE financial sector, including banks and insurance companies. The authors explain that training is not just an expense, but an investment that helps organizations improve productivity and employee satisfaction. The goal of the research was to understand how various training methods, such as on-the-job training, mentorship, classroom sessions, and job rotations, affect employee commitment, knowledge, and job satisfaction. The literature review highlights that training and development are key tools for enhancing human capital. According to researchers like Baker and Arthur, organizations that invest in training gain a competitive advantage because skilled employees perform better and stay longer. The article discussed several training methods, including on-the-job training, coaching, simulations, and case studies, which all contribute to improving employee performance. It's also mentioned that effective training helps employees feel more committed and motivated, which reduce turnover and increase productivity. Methodology and conclusion. This study used a quantitative research design. The authors collected data through survey from 108 executives working in 3 financial institutes in the UAE. The data were analyzed using SPSS software to find correct correlation between training and employee performance. The results showed a strong positive relationship, meaning that employees who received training had higher job satisfaction, stronger commitment, and better work knowledge. The study concludes that continuous and well-planned training programs help improve both employee and organizational performance. It recommends that UAE companies invest more in structure and consistent training to achieve long-term growth and employee development. This slide shows my second article, which is Factors Impacting the Effectiveness of Training Programs Among Different Age and Gender Groups in Oil and Gas Group Companies in Abu Dhabi, UAE, written by Kamran and Hayat in December 2022. The second research article focuses on the effectiveness of training programs in oil and gas companies in Abu Dhabi. The study aims to explore how organizational support and transfer of training affect training outcomes, especially among UAE nationals. It also looks at whether there are differences between age and gender group when it comes to training effectiveness. This research is aligned with the UAE 2030 vision, which promotes national development and leadership training in the energy sector. The literature review emphasizes that training effectiveness depends on how much support employees receive from their organization and managers when supervisors encourage and guide employees. The new knowledge gained from training is more likely to be applied in real-world situations. The study also highlights that an organization's culture and motivation level influence how well training is transferred. Overall, both organizational support and transfer of training are found to have a strong positive relationship with the training effectiveness. The researchers used a quantitative survey with 240 participants from oil and gas companies in Abu Dhabi. Data were analyzed using SPSS to examine relationship between organizational support, transfer of training, and training effectiveness. The results showed strong positive relationship. Employees who received more support and successfully applied their training performed better. There were no major age difference, but males slightly perceived more support than females. The study concludes that effective training programs supported by management directly improve employee performance and organizational results. Summary of both articles. Both articles focus on the importance of training and development in improving employee performance within the UAE context. Together, these studies confirm that continuous training combined with management support leads to stronger performance and long-term organizational success. Now, I will talk about the top up part of my presentation. I chose the training needs assessment form. I picked this topic because it helps to find out what kind of training employees really need. It makes sure that the training is useful and helps employees do their jobs better. Understanding training needs assessment. This slides explain what a training needs assessment means. It is a process that helps organizations find out what training employees truly need, not just what's assumed. It focuses on identifying skill gaps, ensuring that each training program supports both employee development and the organization's overall goals. A good TNA lead to more effective, targeted, and meaningful training sessions that actually improve performance. Here are the 6 main steps of a training needs assessment process. We start by identifying the purpose, by understanding why the training is required, and then gather information from employees and managers. Next, we analyze competencies to find where skill gaps exist and prioritize the most important area. After that, we create an action plan with clear methods, timelines, and resources. Finally, we review and evaluate the outcomes that make sure the training had a positive impact. This slide shows an example of training needs assessment form, which is a structured tool used by HR departments to identify training gaps and plan development program for employees. At the top of the form, we record basic information such as the employee or team being assessed, the name of the assessors, and the date. This ensures the form is properly documented. Next, we have 2 important reference keys, the competency key and the importance key. The competency keys uses letters such as E for expert, A for advanced, until L for limited. This helps measure an employee current skill level. The importance key use ratings such as fairly important, important, and very important to indicate how important the skill is for the employee's job role. Moving to the main table, we start with the staff position or major task column, which identifies the employee role. For example, I added an example for HR coordinator. The KSA, which means knowledge, skill, abilities, scale column rate the employee current level from 1 to 10. Then we list the task-specific area of training, which describe what the employee needs to improve in this case. In this case, we wrote interviewing skills. The training method column shows how this training will be delivered, such as through case studies or group discussion. And the next part, projected training timeline and acceptable timeline, defines when the training is expected to happen and how long it should take. For example, 2 months from October to November 2025. The task column explains the main duty that requires the skill. Here it is screening and interviewing candidates. The importance column shows how critical this skill is for the job, and competency shows the current level, in this example, limited. Yeah. Finally, the last two columns, training requested and training agreed, are used to record the employee's request and the manager approval, ensuring transparency and accountability in the process. Below the table, the form includes section for staff comments and feedback. This allows both the employee and the manager to add personal insights, goals, and recommendations for further growth. At the bottom, we have the signature and dates of the employee, assessor, and supervisor. These signatures confirm that both sides discussed and agreed on the training plan. Overall, this form provides a clear and fair system to identify who needs training, what kind of training is required, and how it will be implemented. Also, it ensures that training programs are personalized, structured, and fully aligned with organizational goals. My second selected topic is the job description for an HR manager. I chose this topic because it is very important for any organization. A clear job description helps explain what the HR manager is responsible for, what skills are needed, and what tasks are or they must do every day. It also helps the organization choose the right person for the job and makes sure everyone understands their role. To make my presentation clear, I have divided the job description for an HR manager into 3 slides. First, I will be discussing about the role and purpose of the HR manager. This slide explains the main role and purpose of the HR manager within the UAE organizations. The HR manager is responsible for overseeing all human resource operations, ensuring full compliance with the UAE labor law, and maintaining fair and professional practices. A big part of this role is training and development, helping employees grow, gain new skills, and align their performance with the company goals. The HR manager also supports national objectives such as emiratisation and continuous professional growth, which are key priorities across UAE workplace. Second, key responsibilities and training role. The HR manager's main responsibility include identifying skill gaps across departments and preparing annual training plans. They coordinate with internal and external training providers to deliver workshops and development programs that meet the employees' needs. After training, the HR manager evaluates how effective it was by gathering feedback and checking if performance improved. They also manage recruitment, onboarding, and long-term career growth, ensuring that the organization maintains a motivated and well-trained team. Last thing, this slide focuses on the skills and qualities needed for an HR manager to perform successfully. They must have strong communication, leadership, and planning skills, especially when managing training and development programs. A good HR manager understands UAE labor laws, uses HR system effectively, and supports employees with fairness and professionalism. Their role goes beyond administration. They help build a culture of trust, learning, and continuous improvement that drives organizational success. Thank you all for listening to my presentation. I truly appreciate your time and attention. I hope this discussion highlighted how important training and developments are, not only for employees but for the growth and success of the entire organization. Thank you once again.